Hey everybody, welcome back to the Half Hour of Power. I am Joe. Brandon is here.
Yo, yo, Joe, what do you know?
Hey Brandon, how you doing?
Oh, oh God. So, people have been telling me I've been looking kind of pale lately. So, I don't know. I've been watching these Dracula movies, man, and this is the second one that was very, very, very disappointing to me. So,
Oh, you were disappointed in this one?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so I think you said something like Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula, is a remake of this one. You you
Yes,
you still think that?
I think it. I know it.
Okay, okay, very good. Let's go in. Let's go in order here. Let's do the Rotten Tomatoes segment here.
All right.
What do you think? Is it on there? Is it on Rotten Tomatoes? Do people like this? Let's
You
go with the
know,
critics. Do the critics like it? What's the score?
I'll say the critics score, and believe it or not, I didn't believe that it would probably be on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm gonna shoot, I'm gonna shoot this out there because this movie's not that known. I'm gonna say critic score 56.
Wow, you're really close. 60.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that was my first guess too. I was gonna say
Okay.
60.
Second, the audience score. What's that?
I say 45. I think it was a low score.
You're really close. 41.
Get
Wow.
the heck out of here! That really means I don't like this movie.
Wow. Yeah. So, according to the critics, this is a nice ripe tomato that you should take a bite out of.
Oh, they shouldn't. But okay.
The audience, it is a spilled bucket o' popcorn.
That it should be.
Now, there is only 5 critics' reviews.
Oh,
Okay, so I mean, half of those got to say they like it, and the other half say no. So there you go. That's why you have that. Now, you know who Dan Curtis is, right? So Dan Curtis made this movie, and do you know who he is?
Dan Curtis. He was the um, he did a BBC TV show. Um, Dark Shadows, right?
That's right. He did Dark Shadows. So is Dark Shadows, is that a BBC show?
Yeah.
You sure? You
Uh,
said BBC, right? Just to make sure I heard you right. You said
yeah,
BBC?
British Broadcasting Company.
Okay, so you did not say ABC?
No, it was on ABC.
That's right, ABC. That's right. It's an ABC show. Dark Shadows is an American Gothic soap opera that aired weekdays on ABC
Really,
from
I
June
never seen it.
27th, 1966 to April 2nd, 1971.
Oh, that may be a reason why.
Yeah. So this
Did it come
is
on PBS?
I don't know. This of course is the show that the Dark Shadows movie that Tim Burton did is based on. Um, there was also a brief revival series in 1991, Dark Shadows, and that starred Ben Cross.
Yeah.
Uh, now, of course, I'm an old guy, but I ain't old enough to remember the original Dark Shadow run.
Well, only reason. No, okay. So you grew up. We didn't have cable, so
Yeah,
if you watched anything like this, like Doctor Who and all those came on PBS, you
yeah,
know.
yes, yeah.
So
So
Dark Shadows
I'm
used to come on
sure.
at night.
Yeah, so I mean, also Dan Curtis did a lot of stuff like this. Basically, there's some things that Dan Curtis did that wouldn't be the X Files.
Oh,
I mean, he's pretty influential. I mean, and the the show that I believe inspired the X Files, Night Stalker. So there was a movie called The Night Stalker. Okay, have you seen that?
I want to say I have.
Oh, well, if you haven't seen it, you got to see that. It's magnificent. And then there was a magnificent series uh, that was inspired by that, and that is called Kolchak the Night Stalker, with a magnificent performance by Darren McGavin as Kolchak. And
Oh,
it's highly influenced the yeah, okay, here it is. Chris Carter, the creator of the X-Files, says highly influenced by Kolchak the Night Stalker. It's a fantastic TV show. There were how many movies? There were a couple of movies, and the first one was a movie,
uh-huh.
and it is, if you haven't seen it, it's really well worth watching. It is about a serial killer. So, okay, Kolchak is investigating a serial killer.
Uh-huh.
Turns out to be a vampire.
Huh.
It's fantastic. It's great. I mean, Dan Curtis has done quite a bit for that type of stuff. So having done Dark Shadows, um, seems only natural he might try his hand at Dracula. So
Yeah, yeah.
Dan Curtis also directed the trilogy of Terror.
Terry, yeah,
Uh,
I've seen, yeah.
he did. Oh, he made a version of the Turn of the Shrew. Um, yeah, Burnt Offerings, Dead of Night, a lot of that stuff. So,
Mm.
but probably the Dark Shadows and Kolchak, those things would be most what he is
Most
most
recognizable.
recognized for. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and it,
It,
yeah,
it definitely it definitely wasn't for Bram Stoker's Dracula. I can tell you that.
for this, yeah. So, I mean, this is this is real to me. This is really tied to that 1992 Coppola movie because this. I mean, you know who did this script, right? Who adapted this?
That
I
this
think we
script.
said I think we said this on the other show, but Richard Matheson adapted the script. He adapted the book. He wrote the
Right.
script. Um, and this is a TV movie,
Really?
so we got to keep those in mind. This was not a theatrical release. This was made for television.
No way.
Yes,
So that explains a lot now.
that does explain a few things. Now, having said that, he did shoot this in Yugoslavia.
Hmm.
It was shot in Yugoslavia and England.
Okay, 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 okay,
I
okay, okay, okay,
I mean,
okay.
for me, I think for the most part, I think the sets and the costumes are pretty good. There's a few other things that
You know what,
they
Joe? One thing,
desire.
I'm sorry to cut you off. One thing that I do like about all the Dracula movies that I've seen, and it's not, you know, it's always the storyline with me, but the costumes, the scenery, all that stuff is like immaculate, brilliant to me from the time period that it was done, to today, even Bram Stoker's 92. um, Frank Coppola's Dracula has great cinematic and great costumes and everything else. Is just
Oh, wait, one
what?
person doesn't really have a great costume.
Oh, okay. So
I
the
mean,
first,
I'm sorry. Like we said on that show, Dracula's first costume,
yes, his
he's
first
first
costume
shown
was,
to be
yeah,
Dracula.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
not
it is.
that is not such a great costume. I mean, I don't care. I don't care what they justify that for. That they could have done something a lot better to than just putting that on him. But yeah, for the
That's
most
true.
part, the costumes in that movie were good. So okay, so I mean, does this follow the book, Brandon?
No,
Yeah, I mean, not
bits
really.
and
But
pieces, bits and pieces,
what's kind
but
of really striking about this one the most is if you look at Dark Shadows, um, you could see Dark Shadows in this movie. right? So
I know I've never seen the American version, so
uh,
I couldn't say yeah or nay on
I
that
know,
one.
I know. Never seen Dark Shadows. I know. That's
The
fine. But
the
it's
the
like,
American version. I haven't seen the American version. See, it's
is there a
crazy.
British version of Dark Shadows?
Yes, the one I just said BBC.
I'm not. Wait a minute. I misunderstood you. Do you think there's a BBC version of Dark Shadows?
Yes,
What? Are you serious?
yes.
Oh, you wanna
Yeah,
you gonna stand by that, or you wanna walk that back a little bit?
I'm doing it now. I'm looking right now.
All right, you look. You keep looking. I, I must have misunderstood you because I went over where it was made and all that.
Yes, you did, and I thought that was you just talking about. Hey, that was the
No, there is.
ABC.
Okay, to my knowledge, there is not a British version of Dark Shadows.
Oh,
Yeah, it aired on ABC.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I believe it also aired on another station, but it's not British. I believe it also aired on CBS,
NBC.
maybe.
It went NBC. It was on ABC, and then it aired 91 version aired on NBC.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the original run.
Oh wait,
Was may not just have been on ABC, but that could be because yeah, the revival series was NBC. So
um,
there you go. But
well,
yeah,
I was wrong. I always thought it
yeah.
was
I mean,
BBC.
well, we're so used to all these British people doing this, like the BBC version of Dracula that we just went over a couple of shows ago. We're so used to all of that.
True.
So, but anyway, what were we talking about?
Well,
Oh, here it is. Here it is. So, but anyway, the romantic subplot is as
boy.
we know and who've read the book know that's not in the romantic. That is not in the book. It
No, it's not.
That came from Dan Curtis, really. I mean, that romantic subplot where he's looking for his reincarnated love, that came from yeah, that came from Dan Curtis, and he probably brought some of that over from Dark Shadows to do it.
Really?
So I mean, it's and like we were talking about on the Coppola show, and you just watch the beginning of this movie, and you see the letter that they use the exact same letter that Harker gets from Dracula that he reads. They read the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That they do that the exact same way. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They don't. It's just like James Hart. You watched this movie.
Of course he did. He caught.
He watched it.
Dude,
I'm gonna say it again. He watched it, and you're gonna tell me, yes, we know that, Joe. Let's move on. But I can't help. I gotta keep saying.
Joe, when a man said he was so aroused by this book that he fainted on the airplane. Yeah, come on. And then you standing over your wife looking at her juggler.
I think you're probably right. He's not worth listening to.
No.
You're
Because
probably right. But
he's just
yeah, I
telling
mean,
a
and
tale. He's telling a tale.
he is. He's a writer. He's got to embellish that. But I mean, the basic story again, as with all adaptations of Dracula, the basic story is there. The very basic story where Dracula's going to move to London, and except he's looking for his reincarnated love. Now, this one was the reincarnated love Lucy.
Yes, the reincarnate love was Lucy. Yeah.
Okay, so he wasted no time making her a vampire.
Oh, like ASAP.
And then he was just being a jerk and went after Mina, right? I mean, that scene where
Right.
he Mina, he's right there getting Mina. Van Helsing and Arthur run in, and he's like, makes him throw the cross down, and then he says, "And now you will see this." And he rips open his shirt, scrapes his chest open, and the blood pours out. And this one, she did not want to drink his blood. He had to force her.
Right.
So
Like in the book.
it gets little points for that. But they're just standing. They didn't do anything.
No. Oh, I mean, okay. So we skipping some stuff.
We
So
are skipping stuff, but you know what? By now, I feel like we can. So I mean, we'll skip around a little bit in this one, guys.
because one thing I did want to point out was the coffin scene when Hawker sees him in the coffin. And remember in the BBC one, he started smacking
Yeah.
Dracula in the face with it. So
Oh yeah.
he attempts to do the same thing with this one, and he stabs it into the coffin towards his head, and Dracula just turns his head over a little bit, and he missed. I was like,
Dodged.
really?
He dodged it. That's right.
Oh, I was
But
like,
yeah,
what?
they get a few things right in this movie. There's a few things that are right.
Yeah, it's a few
Now
things.
let's go back. What do you think of Jack Palance's Dracula?
Okay, I have a love and hate relationship. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean he fits a Dracula because he's a tall guy, but he's more muscular. Um, but he does play a good Dracula, but sometimes he's it feel like he didn't want to play the part.
it kind of did sometimes. I thought too. Now in the beginning of the movie, I thought he's really good
Yeah,
as Dracula. When Harker shows up and he says the line, "Please come into my house, enter freely of your own will," and all that type of stuff. But then when it gets to where he leaves Harker and goes to London, I think that's where he kind of was like, "I'm done."
it
And
felt
he's
like
just
that.
kind of roaming around and making some faces. And I didn't really get the whole scene where he wanted to go and fight everybody in the tavern.
No, no, here's one. He's beating Harker's butt up in the castle.
Oh, he did, yeah. So Harker, and again, as with most Dracula movies, the opening is the best and gets the most right.
I think that's what they focus on more
This
from the
one, yeah,
book. I
exactly. I mean,
expect,
it's weird, isn't it?
yeah, because there's a lot more
So
good things in the book that could be shown in the movies.
yeah, they seem to always hit on the main points. Harker shows up. Dracula says a few things. Harker cuts his face. Um, they he Harker meets the brides, and that's about it. And that's about
Yeah,
it in this too, right? He met the brides, and he admonished the brides for trying to take out Harker, and then he tells Harker to write his letters to Mr. Hawkins and Mina,
but
and
he was a bully Dracula. I feel
he
like that
was
he was
that
a
was
real
that was
bully.
about it. He's like, I'm out, and he left him there, and
Threw him
yeah,
to
he
the
threw him
floor and left
around.
him. Yeah,
Yeah, he passed out. He threw him so hard to the floor. And then the brides just come in because he's looking for a way to escape, right?
yeah.
Or is this did the brides killed him after he tried to hit Dracula in the face with a shovel?
No, he
Is
did
that when
that.
that
Then that's
happened?
when he did away.
Because he runs off and it's the brides get him and turn him into a vampire. I mean, that's really
Oh,
the last you see of him. You don't really know if he's a vampire yet until later in the movie, but and then
oh,
that point
towards the
on,
end.
Dracula's gone, right? And he goes, and I bet you loved the ship scene in this because there is a ship scene, but the
Yeah,
ship's
yeah. This is ship
not in
scene.
the water.
I like the
So the
cinematic version of it. I like the
yeah,
camera
so
view of it.
the ship is just on the beach, and you see the one guy there who tied himself
To
to
the
the wheel,
yeah.
and Dracula
He's
is
holding a
just
cross.
standing. Yeah, and there he's way up on the shore, and parts of the ship,
Yeah,
and that
like
was
that.
that, right? I mean, and
That
and this was funny. This was funny too. He does that thing where he looks at the picture.
okay.
Dracula when he's
Okay.
in the castle, and he looks
Yeah.
at the picture. Oh, that's my That's my love. She has been reincarnated, and you're gonna marry. Oh no, he wasn't gonna marry her. Right.
No.
It's usually Mina, but they made it Lucy, and it was just strange. Um,
Yeah, because the funny part about it was he was like, that's all he talked about, Lucy, 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 basically.
yeah,
And everybody's like, and then it's Van Helsing. Now, you know what? Now I know where Anthony Hopkins got his inspiration for Van Helsing.
yeah. This guy. I don't think he was a crazy Van Helsing. Not like Anthony Hopkins. He's just kind of a run of the mill Van Helsing.
He is more,
But he was
he was,
in the opening when he first in his opening scenes when he first got there. He was a really good Van Helsing, and then they wrote him really well in a couple of scenes in the front of his first appearance in the movie. But after that, it was just went downhill.
yeah.
Well, that's what I thought was great about the BBC version was Finlay. That was his name, right? Frank Finlay. Did I remember that?
Yeah, Frank, yeah.
His character, his Van Helsing, I felt like it was pretty even throughout the way they did it.
Oh, yeah.
And this one, not so much. I mean, I didn't think he was bad as with what they gave him. It's just he was not the book either.
But he was better.
Yeah, he was better than Anthony Hopkins, Van Helsing.
Yeah, he was better because I guess since I've been going through the book, listening to the book, and seeing all these things or hearing all these things and imagining like Van Helsing. Now I understand what Jess was talking about. That they never done Van Helsing right, and
Yeah, because
I
now
see it now.
you're getting to all those points where it's like Van Helsing would never do anything to upset Mina.
Hmm.
He never wanted to say what he thought it was until he had enough information.
Hmm.
Whereas in all the movie versions, they most of the time he just, oh, that's a vampire. Oh, don't look at me like that. There
Yep.
are vampires. Whereas in the book, and there's a whole passage about him taking great pains explaining to Jack what
Hmm.
he's talking about and what he might be thinking about and why there might be vampires. And he's trying to just, you should be open to the possibility that there could be something.
Right.
But and it's really interesting, and you never really ever see in Helsing. I mean, even in the BBC version, you didn't really see that. They got him the most right, but they still missed some stuff.
Yeah, but like you
Okay, so
said,
how was the Doctor Seward character?
what, was there a Dr. Stewart character?
Oh, that's right, there wasn't one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, was it one? I don't remember seeing.
How was the Renfield in this?
Yeah, there was no Renfield.
Oh, you're right, there wasn't one.
Yeah,
Let's
but
see.
Lucy's mother was in
Oh,
it.
how was Quincy P. Morris in this?
Oh, he wasn't in it.
Oh, there wasn't
He,
even an amalgam of Quincy in this. There usually is an
no.
amalgam. But yeah, you're right. This one has Lucy's mother. Now, how did Lucy's mother die in this one?
Well, to me, she died like a little bit from the book. So the wolf came through the window, and basically she hit her head, and she just fainted of a broken heart, I guess. That's what it looked like to me.
Did she die there? I didn't think she died there.
I thought she died there.
Did they? Because you see her later on with Mina.
Really? Because I don't remember seeing her. But
You know what?
I may be wrong.
I don't think she died.
Oh, really? I swear I
I
thought
don't.
she
I don't
died.
think so. I think she just disappears.
And see, that's what I'm saying. They never talked about her no more.
Yeah, she just disappears. I think she just disappears.
Because
So
it was funny because when they showed that part, that's what happened to hear that part in the book. And I was like, oh, wait, that was kind of close to how she died, but I was like,
yeah,
but in the movie, see, but they don't say no more about her since.
Yeah, so she just disappears. That's right. I don't know. Um, okay, so Arthur is in this. How was Arthur?
Like a little kid. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, he was more so like, I mean, he was like a little kid. Because to me, he was like Van Helsing told him, "It's your time to watch. Watch.
yeah, and he
You
just
know,
went to sleep immediately.
right." Even though, yes, that was in the book, but still,
Now,
he,
this guy who played him, he was in Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, The Three Musketeers, The Four Musketeers. So I've seen those and
I've
this.
seen, I've
And
seen
yeah,
those, but
he's been around.
I haven't seen the
Oh,
Frankenstein.
he was in the Monster Club also with Vincent Price,
He was in the Monster Club.
and and he was in Supergirl,
Oh, that's so sad.
the 1984 movie.
That is so sad.
He played Zor-El.
Huh?
Yeah,
He plays Zor-El.
yeah, he was the father of Supergirl. Wait,
Still sad.
yeah, he's the brother. He's Jor-El's brother in the movie. So that
Yeah.
was a great movie.
I'm so happy that it was not a great movie.
It was a fantastic. But we're talking about Dracula right now, so maybe someday we can do.
Someday, someday.
So we're talking about a Dracula movie that's not that great.
Well, here's the other part that really kind of kind of made me laugh. So when um when they kill Lucy and Dracula comes to the grave and says, "Rise, my love, rise," and she don't rise, and he comes down and he pulls the coffin lid back and see that she has a stake in her heart and she's dead or whatever, and he mourns over her a little bit or whatever. And the funny part was he gets upset. So he's tearing everything up. He flips the coffin with her in it.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I said, well, I guess it's not your love anymore.
Now, now, did they use wooden mallets in this?
um, I want to say, yeah.
Yeah. So they love that stuff. So, did Van Helsing tell Arthur he should stake Lucy because he loved her?
No.
What? Who staked Lucy?
Van Helsing.
Did he? Did he look happy about doing it? Did he look joyful?
Uh, it's Van Helsing. Yeah. Yeah, he's
Uh,
like the superhero.
so that Van Helsing again, that he kind of they did a couple of good scenes with him, and he just kind of went off the rails with that. All right.
And
Well,
I'm not
that's
bashing.
just
I'm not trying
disappointing.
to bash the movie. I'm really not. It's just that some things are like so like over the top. And
You talk
it's
about when Dracula was in that pub.
yes.
All right.
Well, it was a
What
hotel. It
what
was
happened?
technically the hotel. It was a
Because a
hotel.
hotel slash. I mean, you could eat there too, right? Wasn't there a place to eat?
Well, yeah, that's yeah, it
Okay,
was.
so what was he doing there? So I mean, I keep referencing that, but why don't you tell everybody what was going on in that scene?
So what was going on is he was tracking down Mina, and he was hunting down for Mina, and he found them in the hotel. Arthur and Helsing left to go, search for clues about Dracula, for the shipping crates or something like that, and he comes through the window, or he comes through the window or door, and a guest catches him, or somebody who works there, and he confronted him, and he started to Dracula just started whooping people at butts.
Did.
And for no reason. And then like these guys ran up the stairs to help out, and he threw one guy and knocked them down the stairs, and then they started shooting him, and it wasn't phasing him, and yeah, he just started beating everybody up in the hotel.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't really kill anybody, did he? He just kind of beat the crap out of everybody.
The way how strong he was, he probably did kill somebody. He was, yeah, he
Yeah,
was really
somebody
beating
might have
people up.
died from internal injuries. Yeah, yeah. But I just thought always thought that was just a strange scene because he like throws this dude down the stairs at another guy. They bump
Yeah,
into each other and fall down, and he just is like, walks down the stairs and walks right by him.
yeah, just walk right on down the steps.
Yeah, and it just I don't
But
know, just strange. That's just a weird scene to me.
and see, then the other part was, which was really to me was pretty funny, was his portrait of him being Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, what a weird portrait, right?
Yeah, that was really weird. And then he saw like the little picture of Lucy sitting on the side. I'm
Yeah,
like,
she's just right there.
and I
He doesn't
wonder.
look. Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, I wonder if Jack kept that portrait.
I wonder if they. Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, it didn't look anything like Vlad Tepes. It looked just like Jack Palance.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, I mean we talked a bit about this in the Coppola show. This is the one that did the connects the historical Dracula to this and says that's who he is, and it does the whole reincarnated love, and it does
And
just
and
hurts my head to think about that um,
now
Coppola
to
movie.
now with that being said, they did go through in the book. They went through uh, the Dracula history of the Carpathians and his bloodline and all that stuff, like the Attila Hun and all that. And they do mention uh, the House of Dracula or Dracul. They do mention it in the book, which
Yeah,
mostly people know it is tied to that the Impaler part of the House of Dracul. Um, so they did reference that in the book, but you know they just took it further because he's not Vlad the Impaler. He's Vlad the Third, the Impaler
yeah.
in the
So
movie.
yeah, so I mean, even though it does that, and they killed his reincarnated love really soon after he made her a vampire.
Yeah, literally.
Something else this movie does get right is that Dracula gets Mina and makes her drink his blood so he can see what these guys are doing. You know,
Yes, yes, which was pretty
so that
cool
was
too because he hypnotized
pretty.
her too.
So he did that. Van Helsing does hypnotize her, and I did think the scenes where they're looking for the boxes, where the other boxes are. It's only 10 in this movie, right?
Yes, only 10 boxes.
So I did think that was neat that they were running around trying to figure out where the boxes were. That is something that is done in the book.
Hmm. Oh, I love it
It's
in the
it's
book. Like
yeah,
it's
it's different in the book, right? It's way different.
yeah, way
I mean,
different.
you're getting to those moments where Van Helsing is talking about how Dracula has evolved in his thinking from a baby to growing up.
Yeah, because he Dracula did some stuff like his the boxes from, was it one that was going to Piccadilly and another was going to another household, another house or mansion or crib in another part of London or England, and it was like amazing how he did these things, and Van Helsing's like he's starting to learn, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So there's I don't think that's ever in any of the movies where Van Helsing is like telling them, "Oh, he's growing up in his thinking. He's becoming a little more sophisticated in his thinking."
Yeah, no, it don't. None of them do. Well, also
So
too, it shows that he was reverting back to his older age too, because in the book, Jonathan sees him in the plaza looking at a young lady. He saw him with a black mustache with a narrow goatee, and one of the workers that helped Dracula carry the boxes into the crypt or to the chapel or the house or wherever, he was like an older man with a white mustache, a long white mustache. And I was like,
yeah, so he
oh,
exactly. So he wasn't concentrating on
on feeding
changing
him.
his appearance anymore in that way.
Hmm.
So there's another strange scene in this where Dracula goes to the zoo
Oh
and
yeah,
like bending the bars to let the wolf out.
yeah. I didn't understand that
And
one.
yeah, like I mean, there is an escaped wolf in the book, but Dracula doesn't let it out. It just kind of escapes because there's like storm damage.
Yeah, that's what I was
So he made that wolf escape, right? And then he had it go and attack
like the keeper or something, the zookeeper or
Arthur.
something like that.
Yeah, so he took out the keeper because he found him, and
Right.
then the wolf had to come and attack.
Oh
It,
yeah,
it went
jump through
there
the
to
window.
attack
Yeah.
Arthur. Right? Jumped through the window. Arthur shoots it dead,
Yeah.
and he was able to finish taking Lucy at that point, right?
Yep.
Because they were able to after that moment that we spoke a little bit about, and yeah, we are jumping around quite a bit, so I'm trying to keep it in context in with what point you're talking about. But I did think that was really funny when because Van Helsing just shows up. They get him there straight away, really early on, and he's. I'm tired. I need to sleep. It's almost dawn. Can you take over, Arthur? And immediately Arthur falls asleep,
Hmm.
and she goes sleepwalks, and Dracula gets her. Well, this time they were able to fix it. So Dracula's really pissed off, and he goes, "I'm gonna get this wolf in there, and I'm gonna take them out, and I'm gonna get my Lucy back."
Oh, he loves this Lucy.
I thought that was kind of neat where he got the wolf to go in there and distract him. But Arthur did kill it, so that wolf not must not have been that hungry,
No,
right?
yeah. I mean, when you say that scene when a wolf jumped through the windows and he eating Arthur up, like I thought he was gonna die.
I did too, but it's like there's no Harker and there's no one else. It can't just be Van Helsing. Okay, let's jump back to the end again. Okay.
Let's get back to the end. Yeah,
Oh
let's
yeah,
definitely go back to the end.
let's go to the end when okay, so they hypnotize Mina. She says where she talks about the sea again, right? And they decide that oh yeah, he's gonna go back to his castle because they destroyed his earth boxes. They found them. They were all at Carfax Abbey, so they didn't have to. They were just trying to figure out who delivered them, and he had them delivered many different delivery services to throw them off.
Right, which that was pretty nice. I did like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
because it was
that
kind
was
of like
cool.
in the book.
Yeah. So then they go back there and go to his castle, and they find Harker, and what happens to him?
Oh, Harker's now a beloved vampire.
Poor guy. And they find all the brides. Who gets to kill the brides?
Helsing,
That's right, Van Helsing.
Van Helsing kills everybody.
He does kill everybody in this, doesn't he?
Oh wait, wasn't it Harker or was it Arthur to push Jonathan down in that pit?
I think so. I mean, Arthur did kill the wolf. We'll give him that.
Okay. Well, Van Helsing kills everybody in this movie.
Yes. So now this is kind of cool, and they must have taken some inspiration from the '58 Dracula. where Dracula is there and they're trying to get him with the cross. And I thought this was kind of strange. Jack Palance will look at it and then turn his back to it, then turn around and look at it again like it might not be there. Maybe he put it down. You know, he'll go, oh, it's still there. It hurts me. I'm gonna turn around. Wait a minute. Let me turn back around because he might have put the cross down. Oh, it's still there. I better turn back around. I thought that was a little strange. What did you think
It,
about
that was strange. I couldn't understand why. What was the reason he did that?
Yeah, I mean, earlier he forced him to throw the cross to the floor, and he was fine, but he couldn't do it again, I guess. He must have been weaker now.
Well,
But
it
here's the
was.
part where it feels like they took some inspiration from Hammer. Van Helsing realizes that the sun is up, so he rips the curtains down.
Yeah, I think they literally took that from Hammers. But the other part that kind of annoyed me
Yeah, what's that?
was okay. So he sees the cross, right? And he kept going. He looks at it and looks at it and would you stop doing that?
Yeah, he's like, oh, come on, come on. Yeah, just very. Yeah. But I thought it was kind of a neat death scene. He didn't disintegrate at all, but they fill the room with light. He backs up to a table that they threw, you know, overturned, upturned, and then Van Helsing spears him through the heart.
Oh, he spears him, all right.
That's right, speared right through the heart. So yeah,
Deep, all the way
and
through the table.
that's right.
Like he can't
And
get off
then
of that.
of course we get to see the painting again and see that he is Vlad Tepes, and if Vlad Tepes looked like Jack Palance. And then
Basically.
they do this strange, um, just a strange background text
Yeah, I'm glad you
that
brought
scrolls
that
across
up
the screen that talks about him,
about the
and
real one. Yeah.
it talks a little bit about the real guy, and then it says he might have found a way to conquer death. It's a legend that never has been disproven, or something to that effect. Is the very end of it.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
that's very.
they also said that the people gave him the name Dracula, which means demon or devil, and I was like, that is not correct.
Yeah, they didn't give him that name.
So I was
Yeah,
like,
like that was a family name. So,
right. I was like, that is not how that happened. But okay,
so
okay.
there's something else that's interesting about this movie. I did not know this at all, and I never read this comic book anyway. So, but I don't know. Did you ever read The Tomb of Dracula?
No, I didn't know that Marvel had made a comic book off of it, off of his character. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they based their Dracula off of Jack Palance.
Well, I mean, if you don't see some guy kick a whole bunch of guys' butts in a hotel and threw a guy across the room and slam his head up against the wall,
Yeah,
well,
so
I'll make a
from
comic
what
too.
yeah, I mean so from what I'm reading here, this comic debuted before this movie, so
What?
yeah, so it debuted in 1972. They based Dracula's appearance on Jack Palance, and then a few years later, Jack Palance played Dracula. So maybe it's their fault.
Hmm.
Isn't
Oh,
that great? Now, I mean, the other thing is, Jack Palance did work with Dan Curtis before. Dan Curtis did produce a movie called The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll.
okay.
Right? So he knew him. They had a working relationship. Curtis did not direct that, but he produced that. So it makes sense the why he would use him again. That's right. That's right. It would.
Huh. I'm sorry. I was just trying to like. I mean, Jack is like I mean, he was a phenomenal actor in his day. So it's just. Hmm. Yeah, I told you he has
Yeah.
the look like I'm a Dracula that will kick your butt. So I mean,
Yeah, and I think, like I said, if they had kept the character the way they had it in the beginning of the movie,
yeah.
might have ended up better.
Well, you know one thing, Joe, and this is just me. You know, because I've been listening to the book, and it's Dracula is very, very like a calm, collect person.
Yep.
He's very like, even though he's like about like mad or he's upset, he's like really like calm and cool about it. Like you never hear him yell. You never hear him get like upset, you know? Or if he do get
Yeah.
upset, it's just like, you need to do this, blah 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 blah. And that's it. Like everybody else makes it so like you write these letters. You write three of them. I'm like, God dang, dude, why you gotta yell at me? Why you gotta be so mean? What
Yep.
happened to come in?
I, I don't know.
What happened to the
Yeah,
niceness?
I don't know. There isn't one.
That was
There isn't.
serious. Like, what the heck, man?
Um,
And
um,
two, and I think too, Joe, because I've noticed now that in the book they don't really talk about Dracula as much in the book.
yeah, he's not in the book that much.
No, so I
He's
think they just try to.
most in the beginning, and then the rest of the book, his presence is felt, but there's not a lot of discussion there.
Yeah. Oh, and to retract what I said in the previous show. Yeah. Okay. So yes, they do say a bat that he was a bat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I,
I
I
had to
figured
correct
you'd
my
get to it.
statement. Yeah.
All right,
But
you get.
there's one part in the book was pretty cool, and I think this is why he went after Mina because he figured out who it was. Well, when they had their meeting and that gunshot that went through the window and hit the wall or whatever, because Quentin shot through the window and it was like, "Who was you shooting?" He was like, "There was a bat sitting at the window."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh snap!" That's probably why he went after Mina because she put everything together. So
Yep. That's
I
right. I
was like,
mean,
okay.
has he got Mina yet?
He is working on it because they are starting to see that she's getting pale and she's
Okay. Well, I
is
mean, is
really weak.
Dracula took Mina already?
No, he haven't took her yet.
No, I mean he made her drink her his
No,
blood.
not yet. No.
Okay, so do you remember why he went to get Mina in the book?
Uh, no.
I know we've talked about it off and on here a little bit, but that's exactly right. That's right. He went to get
Oh, because
he,
she found out everything, putting
he
everything
went to
together.
get Mina in the book because they destroyed some of his earth boxes. Remember that scene where they found a few of his earth boxes
Yeah.
and he caught him doing it and he got
Yep.
really ticked off at him and he started stamping his feet like a little baby.
Yeah. And I think that's when all
And
the rats and stuff started to come
that's
in.
when he went to get Mina. Because he's like, oh crap, they're figuring me out. So he went to get Mina so that he can um, see the investigation through her eyes.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, that's the one thing this movie got right. It did get that right, and but yeah, they always tie it. A lot of the movies just tie that to something else. They say, well, he loves her, or he wanted to have sex with her, or it's like he's a vampire. He doesn't have sex. I'm sorry, he's dead. He doesn't do any of that. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he has a different plan than that. Um, so it's, I, and again, and we'll say this. I don't know if we said this show, but that BBC version got so much packed into it that this could have done too. That it's like just shows how easy it is to get stuff in the movie,
Yeah.
and this one didn't for whatever reason. I don't know.
The thing is, like you said, Joe. it's it's funny that they will hit like certain key points. Like each movie that I watch, they will hit like key points. Now, all the movies always start from the beginning. Well, except for the Frank Langella, Dracula. But all of them starts, with the carriage ride to the castle, the come on in, so on and so forth. They always get the beginning of the book
Yep.
somewhat right, and then the middle of the book, okay, and then after that, just all the shoots to whatever they want to do after that.
Yep. Now, I just I just remembered this. We're coming to the end of the show, but I just
Hmm.
remembered this, and I wanted to look this up, and I finally did. There is another another Superman connection to this movie.
I'm sorry,
So
say what?
there's a Supergirl connection. Um, there's a obviously a Batman connection, and there is a Superman the movie connection.
Really?
What is it? That's your
Oh,
bit of
that sucks.
trivia.
Why would you throw that at me? Why would you do that to me?
I don't know. I just remember watching the credits and seeing a name, going, "Wait a minute, really? She's in this?" So we're doing the show. Like, oh, there it is. I found the name. Okay, let me see if that's who it is. And that's who it is. You want one guess? How about that? One guess.
One guess, that's it.
I gave you a pretty easy. I kind of narrowed it down for you just a little bit. There you go.
Yeah, okay, hold on. That sucks, dude. All right, let's see. I don't even know who you're talking about. So.
I know. I'm not going to tell you. Not going to tell you. But all right,
Oh
I'll give
God.
up. You give up.
No, hold on, hold on,
Come
hold
on,
on.
give up. Give up. We don't have a lot more time.
All right, I give.
You give? All right.
I
So
give.
Sarah Douglas is in this, and she plays one of Dracula's wives. Now
I
you're going to tell
definitely,
me you
definitely,
don't know who that is, aren't you?
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is?
No, who is that?
She played Ursa. You know who Ursa is?
Ursa.
In the best Superman movie ever made.
Oh, she played wait, she was Zog, was General Zog, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's Ursa in Superman the movie and Superman 2.
She was in Superman too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, she was in Superman too.
yeah, she's one of the three supervillains. That's right. There you go.
I'm mad at you.
Are you?
I'm
Well,
so mad.
I mean, if you want to say right now that Man of Steel is a bad movie, now's a good time.
Well, we all know that Man of Steel is an awesome movie.
I heard
Yeah,
awful. There you go,
it is it's
everybody. Okay, okay. Whoa, yeah. We haven't done that in a while. I thought it'd be fun to do that since we had these Superman connections, Supergirl connections, and
well, from what I'm
obviously the
told,
Batman connection. And I'm not going to even mention it because if you people listening don't know what it is, I don't know what to tell you.
that
Um,
was that was that was unexpected. I didn't even think about the brides. The main women I was looking at was Lucy and Mina. The two actresses played that.
well, I just saw that name pop up. I was like, that's got to be her. Um, so there we go. So here we are. We're at the end of this show. You sound really disappointed in this movie.
Yes.
I don't. I'm not. I wasn't really when I finally did watch it the very first time. I wasn't that impressed with it. Um, I guess I liked it a little bit more the second time, but still, it's not a great movie. Richard Matheson has written better, and Dan Curtis has directed better. Would you recommend this movie?
Okay. No. But
No.
no, I
Wow, you
wouldn't
hate
recommend it. I really hate this movie. But
Oh, well, okay.
I would recommend people to watch it to understand why we're saying that James pulled his ideas from this movie to the Bram Stoker's movie. Uh,
Oh, absolutely. Watch, because now, did you know anything about this movie before I told you we need to watch this?
no, I didn't know
Okay.
anything about it.
Now, I didn't know anything about this movie either when Francis Ford Coppola's movie came out, and it wasn't till a number of years later that I knew about this movie. It's like, well, that's strange. The plot of that is the exact same as that, even though they said they were the first ones to do that. Okay,
Yeah,
so watch this, and you'll just be amazed at how similar Francis Ford Coppola's movie is to this movie. So
yeah.
anyway, uh, did we get your final thoughts?
No. Final thoughts of this movie is
It is a must watch.
it is a I would say it's a hidden gem of a movie that I don't like, but it is a good movie to watch before you for Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, because this is technically original Bram Stoker's Dracula, and they just happen to take some stuff from it. And as soon as you watch it, you'd be like, "Oh, snap!"
That's
That's my
right.
thoughts.
Absolutely. Very nice. So we are coming up to the end. So we got this show and then Halloween. The Halloween is coming up. We're going to put a show up on Halloween. It's not normally Halloween falls on a Monday this year. It's not normally when we put up a show, but we're going to do it because it's Halloween. And what are we going to do, Brandon? We're going to for Halloween talk a little bit about Nosferatu, the 1922
Nosferatu.
movie that turns 100 this year.
100th anniversary of Nosferatu.
That's right. So we will do that, and we'll talk to you all next time.
Later, guys.